Welcome back everybody, this is Anthony from ACG again. Today we're going to cover another frequently asked question from our clients. Another service that we recommend is for duct sealant. We often get asked with the trouble of, hey, my basement is too cold, my upstairs is too hot, my extension is not cooling well, not heating well. What is the solution? Over here today I want to introduce one of our partner companies from AEROSEAL Global, Patrick. Take it away.
Hi, this is Patrick from AEROSEAL Global. We work in close collaboration with ACG Climatisation. Essentially today what we're going to be demonstrating is our technology when it comes to optimizing ductworks. We have a sealant that's water-based that we will pulverize into the system, and that will go into the ducts and catch all the holes. Just also to add, the sealant over here is Green Guard Gold. So it's safe. A lot of clients ask us if it's dangerous or hazardous, and the question is no. During the sealing process, we ask our clients just to step out of the house for a couple of minutes during the injection, and once it's finished, we could get back in. Usually, what ends up happening is that when you have a leaky duct, you have difference of temperatures between the floors. So you'll have a basement like in the summertime, very cool, and then your upper floors will get warmer as you go. Also in the wintertime, you might have some cold spots. So this technology allows us from the inside of the ducts to be able to catch all these little gaps that are causing these leakages. And then what we have over here is that we have an opening that we created where we're going to inject our mist as a sealant at the core. So essentially as it's going in, it will get to all the extremities that you see over here. That's supposed to represent all the vents in your house. As the air that is being produced here, cold or hot, ends up losing pressure if there's too much leakages. To note, to give like a perfect example, is essentially like a garden hose. Imagine if your garden hose has a lot of little holes into it. What happens is that you lose pressure. So water will come out from the beginning of the hose, and then at the end of the hose, there's no water coming out. So this is the same concept because air is a fluid just like water. So essentially, how do we know how much leakage we have in your ductworks? Is that we have a computer right here that allows us to measure the amount of air leakage that is in your ducts. We have a blue hose that is a pressure sensor inside the ventilation, and then we have a red one that is inside our fan box. And with the differentials, we're able to say, okay, your ducts are leaking this much, and our computer will tell us. We start with a graph where we see where we started, our started point, and then as we're getting to the point of the system being more and more sealed, we will see it. And if you come over here, this is our pressure sensor. So we actually know what's going on throughout a whole process. How much is the sealant actually taking and grabbing all those holes and then covering them up? So what are the symptoms of having a leaky ductwork? The first one could be that you have high humidity levels in the basement and your first floor. It could be also that you have a lot of dust propagation in the home. High energy bills, your machine's constantly working. And I think the most obvious one where clients really feel when they have differential of temperature, so what we call the layer cake effect, where you have the basement that is freezing, and then as you go up to the upper floors, the temperatures get warmer and warmer. And that's some of the symptoms that clients have that only us could resolve, essentially, because the problem is not the equipment. It's actually the ductworks who cannot bring the airflow with the proper pressure to where the vents are in the extremities. So part of the process is that we actually have to block off every single vent to make sure that the air that we're pushing in with our machine is coming out from all the gaps and all the holes. And then what ends up happening is that our sealant, that is a mist, will be able to come out from these holes, and once it hits these holes, it will turn into a caulking type material, which will end up blocking the hole. So for this demonstration that we're gonna do is that we created a hole, and then we put a screen on top, and then we'll be able to see how the sealant will slowly block off this big hole. So this is allowing us to visualize exactly how the process works. So over here, we finished the measuring of the air leakage. We have 187.2 CFM, which is cubic feet of meters of air, and 35.4 square inch total holes. That means every little hole was put together and calculated at 35.4 inches. So this is a very small system. Usually on average, in people's homes, we could see between 20 to 30% of air leakage, so which equates to 300, 400 CFM, which is quite an amount and has an impact if we're able to get those air leakage back. When we're talking about air leakage, you know, when I tell clients they're losing 30 to 40%, what does that mean? That means that the system has to work 30 to 40% more to make sure that the air that is being produced at the central system gets to the right place. So that adds a lot of wear and tear on the machines and also energy consumption. To visualize air leakage, because air is invisible, we have a fog machine, and sometimes to be able to test and to visualize where the leakage are, we'll put a bit of smoke. So like in this area, as we could see, you see how air is being pushed out. So this is what we call a mechanical joint, and there's no seal. And unfortunately, most of systems, that's one of the issues that they have, that every time that the ducts are assembled, not every corner, right, or junction is actually sealed. So right now during the seal, as we can see, we have our graph over here. We could see already that the air leakage has been sealed in a great proportion. We're at 94% of the system that's already been sealed. That means there's 6% of duct leakage that our computer is showing us. So we're getting to a point where we're making this system the most efficient possible, which means that it can't be done through technicians or a man-made, you know, sealing job. So essentially, this is how we're able to go from the inside and catch all the holes. And if we look at where the screen was over here, we could tell that right now, all that's being plugged up. So we just finished the sealing process of the ventilation unit. As we can see over here on the screen, we have a leakage that we started with. It was at 187 CFM, so cubic feet per minute of air. And then now at the post sealing, we're at 12.3. So an improvement of 174.8, which is over 96% and more. So already that's very, very interesting. And we went from a 35 square inch hole total, and you guys will see pictures and videos that we took of all these little cracks and gaps and openings. And now post sealing, we're only at a 2 square inch hole, which means that all the air that is being propagated will go where we want it to go. And that makes it more energy efficient.
All right, everybody. That's it from AEROSEAL Global. Thank you, Pat, for showing us how the process works. Thank you for getting us certification. We're at 99% efficiency. We got our certification seal, and we're good for many more years to come. If anybody has any further questions or concerns about this process, you feel free to reach out to Patrick directly from AEROSEAL Global.
It'll be a pleasure to take care of all the clients of ACG. Anthony takes care of everyone. We'll do the same. And Anthony, enjoy the amazing system.
Thanks a lot again, Patrick.
My pleasure.